Welcome to the In My Opinion Show with Ronald Barry Robinson and friends, seen on the internet 24 hours, 7 days a week. I would like to welcome our millions of viewers worldwide, but I especially want to welcome my very talented co-host, Miss Denise Smith Allen.
Hi, Ron. How's everybody? Happy New Year.
Miss Jackie Webster Williams.
I'm good, everyone.
And Mr. Henry Hatter.
Happy New Year to all.
Okay.
Let's talk about this Russian hacking of America's political process. Trump says he doesn't believe it and is trying to protect his tens of millions of dollars investments in Russia. Mr. Hatter, what do you think?
Well, I know that we hack all the time. Russia's not the only one that hacks. We hack as well. And with respect to the political process, I believe that happens. I think that most Americans believe that happens. But I don't know the motive of, I don't know whether Trump is trying to protect his millions or not, or whether he wants to maintain a stable relationship with the Russians to help on issues like Al-Qaeda and, you know, the problems that we're having in the Middle East. And I think that was always his motive, was to try to reduce the friction in the Middle East, because the kind of complaints that we have coming out of the Middle East have been sustaining, and they have not been able to find a solution to it. It gets worse each year. And I think the Russians have always been considered a great ally to help us relieve that kind of problem in the world.
Yeah, but they're not. But, you know, it's all over the news and you know, in the internet that people are clamoring for Trump's arrest for treason. Okay, and
but you can't call it treason. You have no evidence. You have no evidence.
But it's not only the Russian hacking. It's other things that he has said. He has tweeted out there. What are these other nations thinking about America with the president-elect, you know what I mean, running his mouth like he is?
That's you know? Trump. That's the president.
But see,
that's who he is. That's what he is.
That's not.
That's how he is.
But that is not the American ideal.
Yeah, but he's the president.
No, he's not the president.
And he will exercise tremendous amounts of authority.
Yeah, but not yet.
The worst thing we can. No, he's not president yet.
Right.
And people are condemning him. And he's not even sitting in the office yet. They're predicting what he'll do and what he won't do. And he's not even the president.
The things that he has said...
He won't be there until the 20th.
The things that he has said, is, in my opinion, is enough for me. Denise?
Well, I think your question was in relationship to the hacking and the American political process. I mean, was it compromised? Yes. Were they involved? Probably. Did they change the outcome? Probably. It's unfortunate, and at this point we have to deal with it until the establishment and those down in Congress have had enough. I don't know what it's going to take at this point. I mean, the people have expressed their concerns about all of this. The people who are involved in the security of our nation, CIA, FBI, people like that, have explained that there is credible evidence that, you know, we have been hacked, and in likelihood it was Russians that were involved. However, we have the president-elect who is a very unpredictable soul. And so we don't know what's going to happen. All I can say is we better hold on to our seats, because we are in for a ride of a lifetime. And that's all I can say about that situation.
And then, and additionally, you know, there's 17 security agencies that have all chimed in as one, indicating that they believe that there was a Russian hack. Now, he's already demeaning the
Putin has already admitted.
He has admitted what?
That he hacked.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he did. He's admitted.
But I did hear, like, back to what Denise was saying, piggybacking off of that, is that, you know, you have a president-elect. Never in the history have we had a president-elect draws so much attention to negative attention to himself, which also draws negative attention to the United States. China just tweeted to him, please find him something to do and tell him to stop putting business out there. Did you see that? And it's because they're saying they don't even want to update him, because every time they tell him something, he goes right to Twitter and he gets to run in his mouth. And they said they find him to be so uncreditable, because a lot of stuff he just shoots off. He doesn't know the facts. When they have a breaking headline like the shooting in Florida, he just shoots off. He doesn't know all the details. This is supposed to be the most prestigious office of the whole United States. You don't just represent one party, you represent everyone. So you're supposed to be intelligent, you're supposed to be preserved, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be the face of truth, honesty, integrity, all the things the United States represent. But if you know, in fact, that someone did something illegal to help you get in office, because what they said they did was they took all the stories, all the negative stories for Hillary, and they kept running them and running them.
Who did?
The Russians.
Well, what about our press? The press is
the press also is on take, because if you notice, all the negative stories about Donald Trump didn't ever get, after the video, and the video went right away after, was horrible, and but they went right back to some emails. Emails is not worse than a video where you just talking.
It kind of reminds me of when J. Edgar Hoover was in power with the FBI. He was able to maintain his position until he left here, because it seems like he had something on everybody.
Yeah.
And this is what it appears from my perspective with the president-elect, because whatever said or whatever's done, he can still continue to move forward without any type of sanction, any type of there's nothing that seems to be able to say.
I don't see that. I don't see that. He gets criticism all the time.
Criticism is one thing, but he doesn't get shut down.
But it's the people who decide what actions to take during the criticism. So you got to give that a credible way of evaluating what the president does. So,
David, listen, the things that he's done, and this is off from the subject here about him being hacked, or United States being hacked. But the situation where before the election, when these women came out talking about his behavior, the things that have come out of his mouth.
That's trivia.
It seems trivia to you, but here it is.
It has nothing to do with public policy.
It's not presidential.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we're talking about, this is a person who is stepping into an office that is held in high esteem and has put it in, as he says, the swamp. He said he's cleaning the swamp, but he brought all the swamp monsters with him, and he is the biggest swamp person.
Well, that's a perspective that some people have, but the American people don't feel that way.
Sure, they do.
No, they don't.
Which ones?
He's the most hated president going into office.
No.
He's the most unpopular.
That may be because he didn't get...
Right.
The press still does not like Trump.
It has nothing to do with the press.
The press still does not like Trump.
Yeah, American people.
But they're beginning to warm up to Trump.
No, they're not.
What they're doing, what they're trying to do is be balanced in their reporting.
Well, they should have been balanced into the beginning.
Balance. Well, see, first of all, they didn't believe he was. They didn't take him serious like most of us. We didn't believe that he was seriously trying to. But the people decided
who he is today, the president. Not just you, a few bunch of minorities or women or Democrats or Republicans. It was the people. We got to remember that it's the people of this United States that has elected Donald Trump.
It wasn't the people, it was the Electoral College. I mean, it wasn't the people, because it was a $2.5 million, $2.5 million people voted for Hillary versus him. So
that's got nothing to do with it. The process was already set. We've used this process for 128 years.
It doesn't work.
Let's see. No, 228 years. We've used this process. Never been contested until Mrs. Clinton got caught with emails. Okay? Now listen to me. Do you think what Mrs. Clinton did was un-American? Did she do anything wrong?
She didn't do anything that any other person
She-
didn't do.
George,
No, hang on,
did
hang
George,
on, hang
did
on,
George
hang on.
Bush
Bush did it.
Okay, hang on,
or
hang on.
Cheney, did they do anything
Yes, they
wrong?
did.
When they
Said that that
They
was
deleted their
weapons of
emails.
mass destruction.
No, they deleted their emails
millions
as well.
of emails.
Well,
okay.
that was
What's the difference?
over time. You do delete emails.
No.
Yes,
What's
you
the
do.
difference? What's the difference?
But here were the emails that were really un-American. They were against the American process, political process. There was information kept from the President of the United States, the highest
Who
authority.
said that?
Highest.
They didn't
Mr.
find
Clinton.
that. They didn't find that.
Yes, they did.
They didn't find it.
Yeah,
They
they
didn't
did.
find
Hang
out
on,
one
hang
iota.
on, hang on. President Obama even admitted it.
When did he do that?
Well, I can just tell you that
What
President
news?
Obama.
What news
He
you
said
been listening
A lot
to?
of the things that she said in a hearing was not true. That's what the president said.
When did that happen?
I don't know, but it happened.
Oh, well, you're just making up stuff too. You
No,
you just
go
like,
back and look at the
He is a
record.
Republican, so they tend
No,
to do
no,
that.
no. I don't want to argue trivia, guys. But if you go back and review the record,
I have reviewed the records
they
and I
did
haven't
ask-
seen that.
you were not.
You
looking
had
for
a
that.
chance to prosecute her. You think y'all wouldn't do it?
Well, I'm against prosecuting Mrs. Clinton. I think we ought to leave.
Not without prosecuting your own.
Well, I don't care. I don't know
No,
what you're
because
talking
it would be a
about.
whole bunch of other
We're
people.
only talking about Mrs. Clinton. Please stay on the
We're
No,
focus.
talking
no,
about
no, no.
hacking.
We said
Yeah,
hacking.
Well,
hacking.
we're talking about
hacking.
hacking too.
We were
hacking.
saying
But guys,
Let's stay on topic.
the reason that the Russians could hack so easily is because Mrs. Clinton had all those emails out there.
that's
No,
not what they.
no.
That's not what they were hacking.
Here's what I see from the perspective of when President Obama decided, okay, because this thing was so egregious, we're going to get the people who are from Russia out of here, and he did that within a specific time frame. I think it was within 48 hours they had to leave. It was amazing to me. For one thing, I was taken aback the fact that we have people who are, these were people who would have been called the KGB. Okay, they've got another few initials now, but basically these are spies, and they have sanctioned, they have the ability to live in the United States. And so my concern is, I'm sure that we also have quid pro quo. I think we also have people over there as well, and
Right.
all over
Of
the
course
world.
we do.
Okay,
That's nothing
But
new.
There's nothing new to it, but it's all about how this whole thing has gotten blown up. And these folks now have made, a relationship with the incoming president, which is not going to be to the benefit of the American people.
I don't know that.
I
You
don't
don't know
believe
that
it.
either.
I don't believe
We
it.
don't know what the depths of this
I do not
relationship
believe
is
it because
between the
it's-
United
it's-
States and Russia.
Everybody else is saying it's negative. Only people that are in favor of it is him and his party because
Not his
everybody.
party. There
no,
are other people that are American people. They don't
They
even
said
belong
that
to
it
parties.
is dangerous. Everybody else says
Ah,
dangerous.
you
but-
listen to
yeah.
perspectives on that.
But what
there
else
are
are you
other
going to listen
perspectives
to?
opposing
What's
it.
what's the positive perspective?
Well, there's nothing dangerous about it.
Well, why would
The
they want it to
president
be in favor of Donald Trump if it wasn't anything for them to gain?
Well,
why would they
I think
want
that
it?
Donald Trump may have had views to destroy ISIS back in the wild.
So you think it has to do with that?
Oh, we've talked about that for years.
I don't think it has
We've
to
talked
do with
about
that. I
that
think
for
it's a
years.
monetary attachment. I think he see it as a business
He
opportunity.
has all the money he needs. He
no,
doesn't
he
need
doesn't,
more money.
because greedy people want more.
Well, do you want more?
I'm not greedy.
Well-
You would ask your friends. Ask your
So
friends.
you're trying to attach money to this, and he doesn't need the money.
What's the person that he just appointed that is a very good friend with Putin, and they have a business deal? What is his
Bannon,
name?
is it?
You would know.
No.
He was a former president of
You know, the
United
swamp.
States Steel.
He
yeah.
was part of the swamp.
I have no problems with the people that he's appointed.
I know you don't.
I don't. If I
okay.
were president of the United States, I would appoint people that I trust and that I
But
don't have to
this is-
respect, but I trust them to
You
carry
say-
out the agenda that I have and the goals that I've established for the United
It
States
totally
of
goes
America.
against what
But
you
see,
said.
that's
though.
just the thing about it is so troubling is that it seems like he's kind of flying by the seat of his pants. He doesn't really have an agenda and goal for the United
That's what you say, but I've read much of his agenda.
What is it?
I can't quote it to you right now,
Right.
but I have it in.
I saw a newspaper article where he had like a page and a half of things that he had.
No,
planned to
it's
do.
much
This
bigger
is
than
this. Yeah, but all of I was looking at it and I'm saying, oh my God! First of all, I got the newspaper article at home because I want to hold on to it to see if any of those things that he says he's going to do he's actually going to do. But some of these things were very detrimental to the people.
To what people?
To the American people.
The American people control the country, not President Trump.
But
It's the American people that do.
They just submitted
And
a
you guys
budget.
are-
They said the budget that he just submitted, they said it is going to take us into a major debt. We're not going to be able to appeal Obamacare because they got so much stuff in there that's just ridiculous. They said we're going to be so far in debt. They said that in his agenda, there is so many things that's going to hurt the American people. He just released that the other day. He just released it the other day. So
Who released it?
Trump administration released it. It was on MSNBC. It was a breaking news because he just released a plan of what he was going to do, and they said
I saw that.
Yeah, in that plan they said it was.
But that's a plan
It's going to
only.
take us into trillions of dollars in debt with his plan. The one that he said he was going to get us and reduce and all that stuff. They said it's going to put us so far in debt.
Isn't that the way the Republicans do every time they get in
Every
office?
time we go into
How
a
they do
recession.
what?
They run the country
Yeah.
into enormous debts.
What was the debt
Okay.
when George Bush left the
What
office?
was the
What
debt?
was the debt when George Bush left the office? What was
The country was damn near broke.
how much did we owe?
We were in a recession.
No,
Okay.
let's
We were
talk
in a
about the debt. Let's talk about the debt.
All right.
When George Bush left the White House,
We owed everybody.
I'm talking about numbers. Get
Because
down
he
to
took
the
all the money that Clinton
The surplus.
got together.
Yeah, he took the surplus and he took us the other way.
And when Bush left office, the country was
How much? How much?
Trillions.
Trillions of
how much?
Trillions.
Trillions.
Get it down to the penny.
Oh, come on now.
No, come on.
That's just
Let's be
technical.
serious.
Yeah.
It was $10 trillion was the entire debt, and that include the domestic debt and the debt we owed to foreigners. But it was much, much bigger than that. It's about $60 trillion when you consider all the things that we owe to ourselves.
Okay, let's talk
Like
about
Social Security and
some of these appointees
healthcare.
that, and Mr. Hatter, you're talking about some of these appointees, would be an asset to the United States or to the people. Okay, what about this guy named Attorney? He nominated Jeff Sessions for Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this man has spoken out against voting rights acts, described NAACP and ACLU as un-American. Black folks can't afford to have him as Attorney General.
Black
'cause we're
people
gonna
are
go
not
back
the
to- we're
only
gonna- we're
people
gonna
in
go
this
back to the
population.
60s.
There are
The
other
50s,
people in the
40s.
population. We got to work with them. We can't just
Not
dominate.
Not when you appoint. Not hopefully he will not get appointed. Okay,
Confirmed.
confirmed. All right, because we don't need for the country to be taken back to the
No, don't go there. We ain't going back ever.
segregation.
No, we're
How
never
many
going
law
back.
students wrote that letter? How many
Maybe
was
some
it?
of you
Was it
guys
1,000
want to
law
go back, but
students?
I'll never go back.
1,000 law students, plus or minus, wrote letters
Yeah.
in opposing him because they said it would really hurt us to have that much, for him to have that kind of power with his voting record and what the things he did. That's why he couldn't get confirmed as a federal judge. Is it that he went for? Because they said on his application he left out all of the racial things that he had. Did
The
he
history
edit?
of this country
He
has
didn't-
always been
he-
racial.
They said he left it out of his
you guys,
He
hey,
didn't
hang
vote.
on, hang on, hang on.
Also, he didn't vote for Martin Luther King holiday. None of that stuff.
Okay,
all
that
right?
was his position at the time. But we
Okay.
do have it.
what?
Not because of him.
Well, maybe he didn't vote for it, but we do have it. Because the whole tenor
Well, that's
of...
not the point. The point is he didn't vote for it.
Well,
we have
so
it. Yes, we do.
If he didn't,
Okay.
so what?
You think he'll be?
We just move on without him.
And we did, but that's the point. It's his character. All right.
You couldn't even make the
Well, it's
federal
an
judge.
integrity.
You guys are picking on Trump over racial issues.
You're dead going
The
right.
country has always been known by its racial issues.
He
That
has,
doesn't mean
And you
that
guys
does
are-
not mean we
you guys-
can't talk about it because
But
we
you
don't
never
talk
talked
about
about
it.
racial issues
That's
in
not
other
true.
circumstances.
That's not true.
You've been
we do.
you've been quiet, acquiescent.
No.
Condemning to
Trump
other
has
people.
opened up and he has pricked the wound of a lot of racial situations.
I don't see it.
Of course you don't, because
'Cause I'm
you are
always
sitting
surrendered.
next to him.
No,
we're not.
I-
So we see it. So listen to us.
Yeah.
He has opened up doors of people that have been angry, and he has encouraged them to show their anger.
They were angry all the time.
But you-
don't hear it. I do. I hear this all the time.
Okay, but here's
Yeah.
the deal. He gave them permission. we've said it before, we'll say it again. A lot of people have their own opinions about things. Some of them were brought up in an environment where, you know, racial thoughts were prevalent in their homes and things like that. And they pretty much dealt with it in their home, and they were raised up in that environment and they dealt with it, okay? But now it's okay to say things, it's okay to do things, and that's on all sides.
And it should be.
Well, no.
Yes.
No.
You hide it. You drive it under the table. For years, we didn't know what people thought because we forced them under the table.
But
now they come out with, they're uprooting from the bottom. And they're thrusting up with anger.
Yeah, but anger that's spilling over into violence.
Yeah, but as population rises, I've said this many times, and resources decline, we're going to see a lot of this. We need to figure out how to work together in this country, not to continually divide ourselves. Now, that would be my focus for Mr. Trump.
Right.
How we bring the country, but we can't do anything with people who are always condemning anything that he does or a Republican does. And I've always said that we got to have both Republicans and Democrats to bring this country together to make it improve the quality of life for every American.
If they don't come to the table properly, then we have to speak up. Because if we don't speak up, if black folk don't speak up for ourselves, who's going to speak up for us? Nobody.
We got the Constitution that speaks for us.
The Constitution.
And collectively, if we put together strategies in our own communities of what we want, what we need, what we expect from government, we can get things done. But where does that happen among African Americans? Where? Name one place that happens.
I think it's a process.
Where is the process?
The process is ongoing. I think it starts, listen, Henry,
no.
In communities, people come together on various issues. A lot of times it may have to do with police brutality, any number of things, but people react. We're not necessarily ones that always get into this thing of pre-planning. We need to do better with that. I'm in agreement with you there. But here it is. We've gone around the circle here, but let's go back again to talking about what Trump has gotten himself involved in. Because one of the things that disturbs me more than anything else is the fact that he continues to use Twitter as a mechanism. He says a few things, insightful things, whatever he says, and then everybody's reacting to it. And he moves on to the next insightful thing. And it's like we can't even rebound from what has been said just a few hours ago because here comes some other stuff. You know, and it affects the American psyche. We don't know what's going to happen with this man.
Well,
we don't know. We really don't. We don't. Yeah. We hear you say about he has this agenda. I read some things, but he's not. You know, you walk the walk, you talk the talk.
Do you try to work with people that don't agree with you? Do you try to work with them? Do you try to reason with them? Hang on. Do you try to reason with them? Do you try to make an environment that's easy to come together at the table, bring the right people to the table to solve problems? No, we just sit here and cry and wallow in our body fluids and condemn everybody else who does not look like us or does not agree with us.
Because you look like us, but you think differently. But that doesn't have anything to do with it.
I do think so. Trump also condemns the Mexicans, the Russians,
he condemns himself.
And the Koreans. Other people. He just doesn't focus on black people.
And that's positive? That's positive?
I guess, but you're not taking the brunt of his anger or whatever it is.
But
that's not.
What about humanity, okay?
But don't just focus on that.
You can't keep talking about people and you don't get backlash.
And the worst of things, in every opportunity, there's opportunities in the worst of situations. We don't look for them. Here's an opportunity that we have to rise.
How are we going to rise against what we're talking about with this hacking? How do we rise?
That is not critical to us.
Obama just said yesterday.
No, it isn't.
He was interviewed and Obama said, regardless, at the end of the day, we're supposed to be on the same team.
Yeah. He's the only man in Washington with common sense.
No, because I'm getting ready to say something. I don't know if you agree. Because what he said was, we're supposed to be on the same team at the end of the day. After the election is over, we're on the same team. And we're supposed to figure out how to work together. He said, Putin is not on our team. He said when you praise somebody that's not on our team, but you don't ever congratulate or say anything positive about people that really are on the team, he said you are in question.
I was mad at Putin a long time ago when he when he condemned President Obama.
Well, here,
You know,
really?
it was, you know, the way he talked to President Obama was just the way that the Republican woman from Utah, not Utah, what
yeah.
the same kind of a deal,
It was
right?
Arizona.
Yeah.
And I saw Putin do that to Obama, and
Disrespect.
everything was
Right.
It was total
it
disrespect.
appeared to be okay, but it wasn't okay with me.
No.
Well, that's
No,
how we
listen.
feel. That's how we feel.
Well, I don't know. You never said it.
We
you
just-
I guess. And I had talked about that before. How Putin may have called him a monkey.
Yeah,
something like that. Is that the
disrespectful.
word? Did he call him a monkey?
I don't know what he
Close
called
to a
him,
monkey?
but
Disrespectful.
but you know what? He could be down south somewhere.
Yeah.
Putin's ideology,
Is-
the way I see it,
That's right.
it spews the same kind
Yeah,
of
but you
message.
guys are talking about American racism. We need to get over. We need to
We're
get
not
over
talking
that.
about it.
We need to
We're
get
talking
over
about the
that.
same thing
We're
you just got
talking.
to talking
We're
about.
going back to Russian hacking.
yeah,
okay.
okay. But-
Russian hacking is the focus right here.
Yeah.
And as we said, I mean, we can go around the mulberry bush and bring everything back into
Okay.
a racial thing.
Yeah.
But right now, we're concerned about the population in this country and how we're going to be impacted by someone who, in my opinion, got the position under really
False pretense.
false.
But
Exactly.
that's all subject to speculation. And there's no truth. You don't know what the relationship with Trump and Putin is.
Well,
I don't.
We don't
and there's no
care.
evidence. We have to let it evolve.
There is evidence.
Well, this has been a very interesting conversation, but I want to let the millions of viewers out there know Trump is not my president.
Yeah, he's mine.
Nor will he ever be my president.
He will always be mine.
This is words of wisdom. It takes a lot of courage to stand on what you believe when everybody around you thinks you're crazy. Well, folks, I'm not crazy. Okay? This is Ronald Berry Robinson and friends saying until next time, stay focused.